Okay, so hopefully on the tables now there's pens and paper, and there should be questions on there. So, how higher education institutions capture and understand their culture is a vital factor in addressing systemic inequalities for staff and students. So to borrow Travis's quote from yesterday, thanks Travis, when we're thinking about culture, we need to consider the experiences everyone should have and the experiences no one should have. So as I said, we want this to be an interactive session, and we would like you to consider the potential of a global benchmark for assessing sector progress in developing an inclusive culture in higher education. So we are looking to establish a benchmark for a holistic assessment of sector progress in developing an inclusive culture in higher education. And once established, this benchmark would enable a regular assessment focusing on key global themes. Consideration and collaboration with international charter partners will help develop comparable international data sets, allowing international benchmarking of inclusive cultures for the first time in higher education. So this is not necessarily related to charters or any sort of other charter surveys or anything like that, and survey might actually be the wrong word to use. We might actually just be talking about benchmarks or key performance indicators. And so on that, I'll hand over to what we're actually going to ask you to do.
So, yes, as Sarah was saying, what we're looking at is the potential of this, and the key question that we're really looking to ask you is this key question in the middle. How would or could an inclusive global culture survey really support your ED&I work? So what we're looking at here is, I say, the potential to develop a tool or something, but it has to be useful. We know with kind of ED&I work, it has to be helpful for you. So this is why we want it to be interactive. And what we've done is there are 4 questions that we've kind of tried to ask here, which we think bring in this question of how would or could an inclusive culture survey support the work. So what you'll see is on your tables, you will have one of 4 questions. So one is, what would be the benefits of establishing globally shared questions of inclusive culture? And then second, what would we need to benchmark culture data globally? Thirdly, what are the key challenges to consider, and how might we then address them? And what are some examples of shared questions that you would like answered? And I think this really feeds into some of the experiences and examples that we heard yesterday of actually there are lots of themes of inequalities that are going on globally. So if this is going to work for everyone, how can we really try and bring this together? So it's going to be interactive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timer on my phone, and everyone is going to have 5 minutes at the table that they're currently sitting. After 5 minutes, I will shout or ring a bell or something, and then you will move to another table. So the idea is that everyone will have there'll be 4 sets of 5 minutes, ideally to go and answer every question. However, people might feel that actually you want to respond to some of the questions or answers that people have put down in front of you. So I'm not going to monitor, I'm not going to tick it off and make sure that you actually go to kind of and answer every question, but I'd really like it to be interactive and for you to be responsive, because the idea is that we will then collect all of this together as part of this scoping exercise, and then we can kind of feed back to you what any results and what any kind of next steps forward might be. Does anyone have any questions? I've got my teacher voice on, haven't I? Anyone got any questions about the procedure, what people are being asked to do, and about instructions? Fantastic. Right, there should be at least 1 pen on each table, but please feel free to get out biros, talk about it, draw things, do whatever you like. And
for those of you online,
there is a Padlet.
There's a Padlet, which, perfect.
Yes.
Do we want people to do question by question with the time online, or do we just...
spend as long as you like. Okay. So you won't have the ominousness of me cutting you off every 5 minutes. But if everyone is ready, please get your pens and...
I feel like there should be a drum roll.
Yeah, and off you go, 5 minutes.